Almost pressed the wrong button. Hello, hello. Good evening. A baby, yeah. I thought to myself, you know what? I should put the baby in the middle of the screen. That's good. Now we have two babies on screen. Hello. Hi. Hi. I kept looking at my screen and was like, ooh, play game. Head hurty. Go to sleep. Read book, which is definitely going to help me when I already have a headache. It is most definitely not going to help, but you know what? I might as well do something. I might as well also have just my Spotify playing, which is absolutely going to get this entire thing muted at some point, but that's okay. I'll just have Spotify running anyway. I don't care. I want some background music. But yeah, today is going to be chill. I have a few books that I've wanted to read for a while, because I have many books that I've been wanting to read for an even longer while that I keep not getting around to actually reading. So I'm just gonna attempt. Wait, how many do I have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 8. So that's 2.5. Maybe almost 3 hours, depending on how much text is in there. reads a comic, but not actually for the art, but for the text. Now I do also read it for the art and storytelling, but I have a bunch of stuff I want to catch up on that I've totally lost, like any and all semblance of knowing why I even stopped reading. Like, I know what volume I stopped at, but what's actually happening in there? No fucking idea. I think we're at volume 36 of Hero Academia in German now, actually. Hold on. We are. This is volume 30. Oh, hold on. This is a good start. A very good start, actually. Oh, yeah. We are. Are in fact going to get buried in books, apparently. Please don't fall down. I would appreciate you not falling down. We are in fact at volume 36 in German of Hero Academia. Bean and Plush, a baby. Hi, good evening. Now, we are in fact at volume 36 of Hero Academia in Germany, it seems. Which is nice, that's cool, that's lovely. I haven't even unpacked volume 35 yet. Good job, me. Do not be like me. Do not buy the next entry in a series, be it books or video games or whatever, if you haven't even, especially with books though, if you haven't even read the previous volume, because you're gonna end up with stuff like this, which is, oh, volume 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. I haven't even read any of them yet. Whoops. No, the baby. Keep standing, baby, please. Please. It's real life. No, it is. It is with the webcam that's slightly laggy sometimes, but we're gonna survive. It's okay. Anyway, Chain Soldier. You have read it, just not the physical copies. Fair. Well, me personally, even before I started earning money, like, I never got an allowance. Like, I didn't have that. Sometime in my later school years, my parents would, we tried this one thing, oh, if every time you write an A, you get a little bit of money. But that didn't really work out. And I didn't have an allowance, but I just asked for books sometimes. So that's how I got started with, like, getting a few manga now and again for birthdays or whatever. But ever since I started earning my own money, and when I still lived at home, I had a bunch of money I could just spend on whatever, right? Because I didn't yet have any, like the apartment, the rent, anything like that to pay for. So I absolutely exploded with all of my manga collecting, and my brain hasn't really caught up to the whole, hey, you don't have that much disposable income, stop buying so many books all the time. But I keep buying whenever I see a release that looks interesting, or if it's something that I already started reading. I try to keep up, even when I don't find the time to actually catch up on the book. And every few months I tell myself, okay, no more buying books until I've read at least like half, maybe half. Thank you for the pet. It's like, okay, let's read half of the stuff I have. It's very bad. I keep looking over to my bed, because that's where I have all of them, like, just like stacked like this, and there's so many. So now my plan is quite literally, okay, no books at all, unless, like, I give myself like an out for like two series, because I do want all of the first print editions, because it's genuinely like one of my absolute favorites of all time. But like that's one thing that comes out every few months, so that's okay. But well, here we are. You don't have a bookshelf. Oh, I have many bookshelves. I have many bookshelves that are filled with many books. I have so many books, the bookshelves they're not enough. Going just to see what I have in stock, not going to buy anything. 10 minutes later, you're in the shop with a new book on a pile, like, god damn it. Yeah! My friends, or like everyone who knows me, they're like, we cannot bring you to a bookstore. Because every time you say, oh, I'm just gonna look, I do end up buying at least one book. I cannot enter a bookstore without getting at least one volume of anything. Be that a manga, or be it the normal book, kind of, right? Like a book. Do you want to know about even more stuff you're not getting around to? Please, yes. Tell me, what am I not getting around to? Good Omens Spot. Yeah, I still have to read it. There's a 3rd anniversary now. Ooh, ouch, yikes. I knew that. I definitely knew that. I'm sorry. You have boxes full of books. Yeah, I want to display everything, which is also why I hate having stuff like in second row, like one of them and then another one in front, because then you end up seeing like one row you just end up not seeing anymore. But I can't help it. There's too many books. I can't keep them any other way. You can just look through a book and then not buy the book. The worst part is I pick up a book and I go, yeah, that looks nice. I don't even read what it says on the back anymore. Also, sorry, I hope I'm not spoiling anyone on Hero Academia, because, you know, this is volume 32, so. But yeah, I don't even read what it says on the back anymore, which has brought me some pain, because sometimes I do end up that, like, when I finally get around to reading a book, I'm like, wow, this is not my thing. at all, but now I have the volume. And I keep telling myself, okay, you could sell it. I don't smoke, I don't hear, I don't have any pets. I could just sell these again, like almost new, like only read once, please someone get it for a little less than the full price when you get them new. And most of the time they're the first print editions, because Hero Academia in German, the German edition for the first print, it glows in the dark. Like not the entire thing, but they have parts of the cover that will glow in the dark, and also the spine glows in the dark, which looks very funny if you have it all standing in your bookshelf, and it's over 30 volumes, right? So that is quite a bit, and it's just glowing. You're like, why is it so bright in here? Oh right, Hero Academia, but only the first print. So I'm like, I want to get the first print. They know how to get me. The first print edition. When did you play CER? It's almost like muscle memory. I was lying dormant for almost 30 years. Damn. Yeah, so some things you never forget, I guess. Some things you just don't forget.
Oh, thank you for the resub. Enjoy the emotes. Good evening.
I have no idea what music is playing. I just picked this play. It's a Spotify playlist. It's called Gacha Pop. Well, pops out. Roll the gacha and find you a Neo J-pop treasure. I'm like, okay, you know what? Why not? You get the One Piece. Ooh. I started. I do actually collect the One Piece manga, but not in boxes. Now they're actually bringing out newer boxes where they will give you like 1 to 10. Because we already hit 100, right? So now they're like, oh, we can bring out some box sets, I guess. Which I usually only do for series that are completed. But I started buying One Piece, like used. I would just go on, I think, what's it called? Rebuy. You can get pretty lucky with some mangas on Rebuy sometimes. And I just started buying every single volume I could find that was still in very good condition for less than €4. So now I have every One Piece from 1 to 63, I think, and then a few missing, and then 75, 76, and then everything else I have to get around to actually buying at some point. I also own volume 100 because I bought that one new because it was a nice print. It's like, oh, it's volume 100, let's get it. Which is really, I don't know. I mean, One Piece is the one long running series that I am actually kind of actively trying to keep up with, so that's pretty good. Your library is curious. Looking on the left, you have Politology books, on the right you have rom-com manga. Sometimes you just gotta read a good rom-com and be happy. I do indeed have 2 sides. Actually, what I have here is this stack of Hero Academia that I keep putting off, but it's just like, come on, just read a volume, and then maybe another volume, and then maybe another volume. And then what do I have here? I have volume 5 of Oshinoko. Because I completely I bought volume 1 to 3. And then it kind of ran away from me and I completely forgot about it until the anime came back out, and now we're at volume 9, 10. And I'm like, hold up. And they don't have the in-between volumes. They have like volume 1, 2. And then the newest at my bookstore, and I'm always like, okay, well, when I see volume 6 in the wild, I get it. But I'm not gonna order it right now. Finish One Piece, I need to do the ultimate meme release entire manga and ball volume. I don't think you could print that. They did something like that for Death Note. Have you seen that? They did a 1 book edition of Death Note. Like, that's already like a tome. That's not even a book anymore, that's a tome. I don't think they could print something like that. Like maybe one for funsies to put it in a museum somewhere to be like, haha, the One Piece. Even then, this song doesn't seem to have a cover. That's pretty sad. Because I can't read what the title says either. Fantasy or psychological fiction like Crime and Punishment? Oh, valid. My stuff is mostly fantasy. I think I have... for normal books, I think... yeah, normal books, I think I have 3 non-fantasy ones right here. Maybe 4. Everything else is some kind of fantasy. For the meme. But who would print that? Stuff is fantasy, and also YA fantasy. Very true. I do not usually distinguish between YA and more. I do have a lot of YA. I think. I don't know. I don't really care if it's YA or not. Like as long as it sounds good, I'll read it. Now, what else do I have here? I have volume 6 of Sasaki to Miyano here. Which... oh my god. I've read Sasaki to Miyano, I think, up to volume... a little further than this, because the German edition only came out relatively recently. I didn't actually think they would pick it up. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get the English one, but then they actually announced that they would do it in German. So now I'm like, oh my god, this one still has a sticker on it. Good job. Does it also say where I bought this? No. No fear of me accidentally doxing myself. That's good.
La 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 la.
There's a lot of classically sugar spot by Bungo Stray Dogs. Honestly, that's fair. Bungo Stray Dogs I still have to catch up with. Me and Mel, we watched the first season so far. The manga I refuse to get into because that has so much stuff going on. I'm like, I'm gonna focus on the anime. And then I'm gonna see about everything else. Most of the living stuff and some classics, but I don't have any classics here. I do have a few classics at home. No Longer Human through Bungo Stray Dogs. Oh, I think they made a pretty recent print of No Longer Human, like a. I think they always printed it on like it has a pink backing and then the silhouette in dark blue black on it. Maybe they've done that before, but I keep seeing it in my local bookstore, like in the English books edition. I'm like, in the English books section, I'm like, Did they make a reprint? Like, did it have an anniversary? Well, why am I seeing it front center? Like, it's been around for a while. Tomo-chan is a go away. What? The only thing to fear is for yourself. It's calling to you. Psst, psst, psst. It does fall under classic literature. Yes. No Longer Human is very much a classic. I'm unsure whether I would be in the mood for it though. Anytime soon, I'll have to admit. I haven't, like, to this day, I still haven't finished Damian, which is kind of, I don't know. I got that one, and I will admit I got that one because of the one BTS comeback where everyone was like, oh, it's telling the story of Damian, and then you couldn't get the book anywhere because everyone and their mother went to buy it. I'm like, please give book. But yeah. I never finished it because, I don't know, some of the classics are really hard to read. I have to be in a very specific mood to read stuff like that. Like high fantasy I can read whenever because that's always fun. Like, yeah, give me those dragons, give me that magic, give me that flying around, whatever. Doesn't sound like the other books you read from what you said. So yeah. Very true. Oh, you meant Jules Verne. Okay, sorry. I do not know a single title. Like, the name doesn't ring a bell at all, so... Classics? For the amount of books I've read in my life, I'm not well versed in classics. I will admit that. I do not feel any shame in that. I will admit that. It's just not really... I'm just looking. Hold on. No, none of the stuff I have here is anything classic. Nope. None whatsoever. Oh. Nope. I think the next book I'm gonna read for my lunch break, though, is going to be this one. Sorry, baby, you are kind of in the way. Let me see. Oh no. 2,000 miles on the sea, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Oh, Journey to the Center of the Earth. That's actually ring a bell, but I haven't read it. But I think this is my next lunch break book. It's not too long. Oh, lots of empty pages, I think. I don't want to accidentally spoil myself. It's only 162 pages. That's... I could read that in one go, actually. If I so wanted to. I think that's good. I'm gonna keep this out so I don't forget about it. Yeah, what else do I have here? I have Insomniac 6 and 7. I don't want to accidentally spoil anyone on what happens in Volume 5, but I was very happy about some happenings in Volume 5, so I'm interested in seeing what this is. This one's pretty sweet. It's really sweet. This one, it also got an anime that I haven't gotten around to watching yet. I don't know if the anime adaptation is good, but the manga is very nice. It is quite literally just about what it says on the tin. These two are both insomniacs. And now they're both in the astronomy club to get access to the astronomy room, because the school has a telescope and everything. And it was the astronomy club was out of order, because no one was in there anymore. But the room itself was really nice to sleep in, so they would nap there. Then I was like, oh, you can't actually keep using that room unless you are part of that club, blah blah blah. So now they're reviving the club. The teacher's a little bit in on it, so now they actually have to do some stuff for the club, but they can use the room now. They can also, I would say it is romance. What do you count as? It's a slice of life. Okay, it's a slice of life, but it is romance as well. No copy of 20,000 miles. It's really sweet. So the art style is not like over the top. They very much look like teenagers. Oh my god, Volume 6 opens up with exactly what I was hoping it would. Always sleep out, so true. He was counted the zeros 3 times. Me, yes, definitely. I just read 2 and I thought, okay, that's a lot of zeros. Whatever. I probably said that wrong many times. Work hard, sleep hard. Yes. Work less, sleep harder. Also this one, which did get a German title actually, which is kind of surprising because lots of times we just get the English translation. Most of the times, but this one did get it. It's just a direct translation from the English title. I Can't Reach You. This is Volume 5. This one I started buying in English on Bookwalker, and I hadn't even read Volume 1 on Bookwalker yet, like the ebook. And then they announced a German edition, and I'm like, oh damn! And it's a big print. I don't know how obvious that is, but it's a big print. The irony is that you're currently working on something. No sleep, only work. Eee. German manga translation. Yeah. Well, that's another friend of mine. She does not read manga in German at all. For me, it really depends on the series and on the translator. Skip and Loafer, the next book I was going to pick up. This is Volume 3. We're not that far ahead. I'm kind of glad they're not like just pushing out a volume every single week. So I have a chance to like actually get them. But Skip and Loafer has a really good German translation, like a very modern German translation. Like extremely much so. It's like, how do I explain this? Because I don't know off the top of my head the exact thing, but do I have volume? Wait, hold on, let me see. I don't think I have volume 1 here anymore. I think I brought that home to my parents. Yeah. I could have shown you, but it does actually fit the scene, but there's this, like, it's just extremely modern teenage talk as well, like not in a bad sense, but very much so that they unironically used slay, I think, when referring to someone else, and it's just just a background character, just some background noise. It was like, oh, slay. I'm like, what the but in a good sense. In a good sense. Because it fits the scene. That kind of thing, so I'm very happy. Very happy. Also, Yakuza House Husband. You would hate that, I know. I like it. Me personally, I like it. Yakuza House Husband is translated by... Oh my god, why can I never remember his full name? It's such a meme name. Bartholomeus Gandalf. Is that what his name is? Well, the guy who actually quite literally has Gandalf in his legal name, who's a manga translator. Has worked on some issues of Hero Academia where I didn't like his work at all. But okay, whatever. As far as I'm aware, is also the guy who translates Yakuza House Husband. And for that one, it works. Because every single character in Yakuza House Husband who has like their own dialect, like a Kansai dialect, stuff like that, they just get various German dialects, like full on written there, and it's so good. Like this one Yakuza lady in Yakuza House Husband in German just talks with a Berlin dialect. Ike. It's so funny because that's a comedy. That's a comedy manga that fits because, you know, the original Japanese would have it talking. I think hers is a Kansai dialect, if I'm not mistaken. So that makes sense. That works in a kind of more. It didn't work for. Well, I have some gripes. I have many gripes with the Hero Academia translation, but they went through like I think 4 different translators at this point. I don't think it's him working on it anymore. So the last few issues have been pretty good. If they show up with a swearing character, you're having a stroke. I think they do have one in there actually. The stream about GNU, I do. You know what the worst part is? I can't tell you guys about GNU, but I can show you because in pretty much every single book where GNU actually shows up, that's like R18. I cannot show that. I can show the parts where it says GNU, sure, but I have to go through like, nope, the fucking, that's just the fucking, nope. So I can't. But yeah, in I think it's mostly Egmont, the company. These guys, Egmont manga. Most of the BL, there's a specific sound effect, which is like a kind of sound like when you squeeze something or you hold on to something, and they always translate it as GNU. Like it will literally, like next to the original Japanese sound effect, it will say GNU. GNU. And I'm like, that is not a word. That is not a word. What is that even? Like, what kind of sound effect is that? GNU. Like, what are you saying? Please, what are you saying? It's so funny to me. Me on my way to GNU's I have no idea. Someone must have come up with it at some point. It's so good. And I mostly notice this with the BL work. I guess maybe the sound effect gets used in BL more. Like even in non-spicy scenes, I don't know. It sounds like Stanford. Me on my way to GNU. Someone like, what? Jesus Christ, what is that song? Okay. But speaking of good taste, actually, I don't think I'm going to be reading Hero Academia, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. GNU! Yeah, GNU! Hi, Hanif. Hi. That's nice. GNU. That's good. That's good. Wait, hold up. I have so much stuff here. Many more seconds actually. I have no idea. Never mind. Is that a hand? Opposite us? We're going to be playing against Noor. Rock, paper, scissors me. I have umlauts for Discord emotes, then we need Noor GNU. What would they even look like though? Yeah, you missed the apocalypse. You did miss the apocalypse actually. You picked scissors too? Oh! So reading because Dicker's face were getting more ridiculous looking until you can honestly, I think the arts are actually involved quite well. Except for the fact that now he doesn't have enough time to really actually draw to his full potential because he has to bring out a new chapter, so like I feel like a lot of times with Hero Academia nowadays it's like there's so much happening at all times, like because of all of the obviously I can't show everything, but because of all the effects, like there's just too much happening. I'm like, and then it's still like 15 fucking things on one side always. There's so much text on every single, oh my god, I'm spoiling myself, on every single page. Like, damn, I actually have to read while reading. You pick rock, you lose. Mel is the only one on my side. I see how it is. I see how it is. Like a new chapter. Also, we're getting Shadow House in German. Also big print. Pretty much everything that Manga Cult put. Manga Cult is a subsidiary of Comic Cult, by the way, for anyone who's aware or not aware. And they've been getting some good stuff. Manga Cult is also the one behind what's it called? Oh my god, now I forgot what it's actually called. That's not a very good. Oh no. Except the fucking sticker they used to put on here. That was not a good choice. Now I have sticker residue on my book. No, I hate that. No. But yeah, they picked up Shadow House. You watch Shower though. Don't sticker residue. I hate it here. I started watching Shadow House. I didn't get very far though because I know it's good, but the manga, the anime takes a while to pick up. I feel like, so I haven't gotten back to it, but I will at some point. A friend of mine is a big fan, and when they say a series is good, I trust them. Puns, nah. No, but apparently there's a print. Yeah, you get a print for the first one. Ooh, look at the little gold frame. That's cool. I like that. Almost dropped it. No puns, only pain. That's nice. Like for real. Size? Size word? I love you. I love you, little baby, and I like that you are there because otherwise the camera tries to focus too much on the keyboard and it goes crazy. Yeah, that is bigger than my hand is. Which is nice. The not so nice part about... Oh wait, actually that's not too bad. There was a time immediately when manga cult, I think they established themselves shortly before Corona. So it's been also like 4 years now since they came out. But the very first two manga they brought up, because they always do the big print. They were also the ones that picked up Cells at Work and a bunch of its side stories in German. They would cost 15 euros just because it was a big print. Not even like, okay, Sasaki Tomino is a bad thing to, but like, they're not much thicker. They're not even thicker than Oshinoko, for example, but just because it's such a big print, they were like, oh yeah, this is gonna cost you like double the amount of money a normal book would, normal manga would cost you, and that is crazy. Personally, that is a lot of money. And now they managed to get their prices a little more under control, it seems. I mean, obviously it's gonna... Printing books is an expensive thing to do. I do admit that, but I cannot in good conscience pay 15 bucks for a thing that's like barely as thick as my finger is. Like, sorry, I do not have that kind of disposable income. Also, I completely forgot to actually hydrate 38 minutes ago. It's going forward hell fast. I don't know about the manga. The anime I've watched 3 episodes of, and that one felt very slow to me. But yeah, Flo, I will hit you up with that one at some point, probably. Everything is less expensive compared to Warhammer. Well, good thing I'm not into Warhammer. I have enough hobbies. I have enough expensive hobbies already. Well, I also like how this is going in the whole, oh, I'm just showing off 500 things again direction, instead of me actually doing what I was trying to do, which is just read and hang out with you guys. And now I have the sticker residue from Shadow House on the back of Oshinoko, like a embarrass. I hate sticker residue. It depends on what you start with first. Very true. Very true. I mean, personally, also normal books are also really expensive to my mind, because it's like, wow, you want, I don't know, depending on what type of edition it is, and I usually go for like, I don't like hardcover as much. I usually go for these type of editions. There's for one, the smaller ones, and 2 not hardcover. Hardcover looks nice when you put it in your bookshelf. I mean, obviously a hardcover book is gonna look nice, obviously, but also it's just hard to hold. It's just hard to hold. Paperbacks, thank you. Yeah, I couldn't remember the word. I read a lot of regular books, actually. Yes, I just tend to get them digitally because I already don't have enough space to keep all my manga. Where am I supposed to keep normal books? This is Hell Followed With Us. This is Hell Followed With Us. I care for whichever is easier to actually hold while I'm reading it. Okay. Here's one of my #1 gripes with actual books. I haven't read this one yet. I will probably be able to recommend it because I've only heard what it is about. I haven't read it yet. But here's my #1 gripe. It doesn't actually say what this book is about. It just has a bunch of quotes on it of like, a long sustained scream from the New York Times, a gloriously ferocious and scorching blaze from Kirkus Reviews, a Star Review, an astounding and exhilarating debut from Booklist, a moving and timely tale of queer perseverance, Publishers Weekly. Okay, that's cool, but what is the actual book about? I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I can tell you that it's queer. Oh, never mind. Okay, it says here what it's about. My bad. Sorry, my bad. This book says, prepare to die. His kingdom is near. 16-year-old trans boy Benji is on the run from the cult that raised him, the fundamentalist sect that unleashed Armageddon and decimated the world's population. Desperately, he searches for a place where the cult can't get their hands on him, or more importantly, on the bioweapon they infected him with. But when cornered by monsters born from the destruction, Benji is rescued by a group of teens from the local Asian LGBT center, affectionately known as the ALC. The ALC's leader, Nick, is gorgeous, autistic, and a deadly shot, and he knows Benji's darkest secret. The cult's bioweapon is mutating him into a monster deadly enough to wipe humanity from the earth once and for all. Still, Nick offers Benji shelter among his ragtag group of queer teens as long as Benji can control the monster and use its power to defend the ALC. Eager to belong, Benji accepts Nick's terms until he discovers the ALC's mysterious leader has a hidden agenda and more than a few secrets of his own. It also has a sticker on it, but I'm not willing to try and get that sticker off because I fear that it's going to be another sticker resin thing. I heard good things about it. Also, the cover looks crazy good. So maybe I'll get around to this one this year. I do have a few books to catch up on if I want to make my 30 book goal this year. I think I'm behind. I think I've read 18? Maybe? This year? So oh my god, now I can't get it back in. I'm very behind on all of my book reading. Do novellas count? I mean, the book's a book, no? I also count light novels as books, so... To the word agenda where we want to make an agenda, but fair. It's a very good setup. Very good setup for puns. I think novellas would count, yeah. Wait, let me actually... I covered my keyboard, now I can't access my keyboard, that's good. Goodreads, where do I have my Goodreads? Am I logged into my Goodreads? I am not, because that would have been good, right? That would have been... I am logged into my Goodreads, never mind. I have read 19 out of 30 books this year, so I'm one book behind my schedule if I want to make it to 30 books. That's not even true though, because the Magnus Archive for some reason counts as a book on Goodreads. Even though that's podcast. But apparently it counts, so. What I've read this year are volume... Oh my god, I can't. I make this bigger anyway, in any way. No, why not? You know what? I'm gonna make this easier on myself because apparently on my fucking... I'm just gonna look it up on my phone. A book speedrun go? Oh, you would. You'd be surprised how many books no, you wouldn't be surprised, you know me. There's a schedule. Yeah, well, like, you can set how many books you want to read in a year, and then it's gonna be like, okay, if you keep at it like this, then you're gonna reach it. But anyway, what I've read this year are Infinite Dendrogram Volume 3, 4, and 5, because I had Volume 1 to 5 on Bookwalker, and I was like, oh, well, I already bought Volumes 1 to 5. I should maybe get around to reading those. And I have read those, and it's very good. It's a night novel that is about a not VR, but an MMO, an online game, but they don't actually get it's not like one of the 500 stories where you get stuck in the video game, you cannot go home. You can very much go home, you can log out. It's just that the time in the video game goes by way more quickly than in real life. So like 30 minutes in real life is like half a day in game. So people tend to stay there for very long times, but you can go out. There's no immediate, oh my god, we're all going to die sense, we cannot ever go back home. But I've only read 5 volumes and it's still ongoing. It has an anime, but apparently the anime anime is not very good, which is kind of sad because the art style for the book, whoever does the art for it, very nice. I read those beginning of the year. When did I read volume 5 actually? 20th of January, yeah. And then I didn't read anything for I think the entirety of February. And then I read volume 2 of the Case Files of Julia Richard in middle of February. That's when I started reading again. Really nice. That was a very warm and caring person. Case Files of Julia Richard is really good. I think I'm behind on the English release though, actually. I have volume 1 to 4 here. I think we already have volume 5 out in English nowadays. Then I read volume 4 of the Scumvillain Self-Saving System. Though I'm only halfway counting that one because I already read it fan translated. So it's really fast to get through. With the official release, then Magical Girl Racing Project Volume 10, Lock Horizon Volume 4, The Alchemist Who Survived Now Dreams of a Quiet City Left Volume 1, which is okay. Now that a few more months have gone by, I can say it's okay, but it's not out of the world and I'm not going to keep going with it. It's a fantasy. It's not an isekai, it's a fantasy where this one alchemist girl, she survives, goes pretty much into, she doesn't get frozen, but she goes into a very, very long sleep. So the entire world around her has changed. Everyone she's ever known is dead. Now she has to try to make a living for herself. But as is with every single fantasy light novel, be that an isekai, be that an, I don't know, it has always been set in the fantasy world. There's fantasy slavery, which is not needed at all whatsoever. And also this book is it tries to tell you like, oh, this thing she's now making is a special type of concoction, blah, 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 and goes on for like 3 pages without actually like explaining anything. It just likes to throw around. Excuse me. It just throws around buzzwords where it's like, oh, and now she collected this weed and that herb, and now she combined them. And I'm like, okay, get on with it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So like, it's not bad, but it's also no one that really got me. How long did it actually take me to read it? Hold on. Wait, I started reading it... When did I start reading it? 7 months ago. Goodreads, could you give me a little more information? No. Goodreads like, fuck you. That would be nice to see. I finished reading it on the 19th of April and I started reading it... January. I started reading it in January and then I didn't touch it for like 3 months. Go way too much into own magic system with that kind of thing, but with IRL cooking recipes. Yeah, it's like one of those when you look up a recipe and then the person actually tells you the whole entire life story first. Before you actually get to the recipe, and then the recipe is kind of a letdown. It doesn't actually taste that good. That's what this book felt like. Sometimes slavery can be thrown into a story. Like me personally, I'm not a big fan. Sometimes it can be written well, but most of the time when you read a fantasy light novel specifically, and even worse with an isekai, it's just there to be there. They're just like, oh, you know, for some reason, this one random group of people, it just is worth less because fuck you. So we can give our main character like a harem of 3 elf girls and 5 mermaids and whatever. Like, at least do something interesting with it. I don't know. Does that make sense? Yeah, I have no purpose because of it. Yeah. This one, because in this one it's like, she ends up getting a guy, like buying a guy, But obviously, she treats him nice, right? She treats him well. She treats his wounds. Blah, blah, blah. But also, he's bound to her by a blood pact. By a magical blood pact. He can't do anything against her wishes. And obviously, he's now eternally grateful because she saved him from those traitors. And she treats him nice. That's all nice and well, but they wouldn't have needed to do that. Like, she just needs a bodyguard. She could have also just gotten a bodyguard. She didn't need to get a slave. Right? Hi! Good evening. You ever just buy a guy at the store? Yeah. But yeah, then there's the first season of the Magnus Archives, which you can enter as a book on Goodreads, even though it's a podcast, so that's season 1. Yeah, no, my stats are fucked up. This isn't right. The House in the Cerulean Sea I didn't finish. Why is that under my finished books? I didn't like it. I got like 2 chapters into the book, I couldn't get through it anymore. It has an average rating of 4.43, so I'm like, but I could not get into this book. It was so slow to me. Way too slow. And then I read Volume 2, 3, 4, and 5 in a row of Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, which is everything except Volume 1 that I had already read last year of Modao's but do not comment on my pronunciation of Chinese. I know it's horrible. But also I have read the fan translation of that one before, so it's just easier to get through. Happened to watch the first episode of 2 related anime to that? Of what? Of Alchemist Who Survived? Does not have an anime? I just complained about it when I had finished it. No. This one just does not have an anime. There's probably another thing out there that has a similar enough story, but this one, no, we have not. So the movie really getting much to the gal is actually not sure if such a thing as 10 Years Dungeon was a thing in history. I couldn't tell you. You watched an anime that's basically that. Really? We watched an anime? With a similar premise like Alchemist Who Survived Now the Dreams of a Quiet City Life. I have to think of that one. I have to think about that one. I could not tell you what that could be. With a girl that gets a... I'll think about that after stream because I cannot for the life of me like come up with one right now. I'll look at remind me and I'll look into it though. Then I also finished listening to the entirety of the second season of the Magnus Archives, and then I read Kokoro Connect Volume 7 because I really like the translator's works. I'm a big fan of Molly Lee's translations, which can be a little much for some people. It's a very like she does not hold back in having these people say fuck and shit when the original Japanese probably isn't as extreme. But me personally, I'm a big fan of how she translates stuff, and I still have like, how many volumes is there to Kokoro Connect? 11, so I still have another a lot to go through. Every few months I sit down and try to read them because I like them genuinely, but I can never remember who's who. So it's a pain. Volume 7 was okay. I gave it 3 stars. It was okay. I should try and finish Kokoro Connect this year actually. Maybe I'll do that. Heaven's Official Blessing Volume 4 I read, and Heaven Official's Blessing Volume 5. We have Heaven Official's Blessing Volume 6 out already, I think, and Volume 7 is coming next week, I think the 12th or something. And then Volume 8 is in November, and then we're actually done with it, and then all 3 all 3 novels of the same author are out, and then I actually have to branch out to all of the other Danmei novels we're getting in English, because these are the only ones I had read fan translation of. The other ones, I want to read them in one go, because otherwise I do have trouble remembering who is who with all of the Chinese names, because everyone, I don't even mean this in a bad way, it's just because I'm not used to it yet. Everyone has, like, they have the courtesy name, then they have the name they use with people they actually know, with family, then they will have like 3 different like nicknames, and if you don't read those in one go, you're just gonna sit there like, who are you? How are you related to what's happening right now? Oh, you killed a guy. So, and the last book I read, which I just finished last week actually, was She Who Became the Sun, which got, I thought this was a one-off book, but it actually got a sequel 2 weeks ago. So now I'm sitting here thinking, god damn, now I actually have to read the sequel too. Haha, Clerk Dudu got summoned to be king. I feel like I might have heard of that one actually, but there is good isekai out there. I'm not even saying that there's no good isekai. I do, however, tend to like look away. If I hear isekai, I will not be as interested. But I think I still watch enough isekai to be like, yeah, well, it's not all bad. You want a Pikachu? Okay.
Pikachu. Pikachu.
Joshimo may lose a little bit long, so as an all limb family member getting not so lucky. Yeah. Isekai individual actually is to play by the same rules as everyone else. Oh, that's nice. Perfect. Hi, good evening. No, I do think an isekai can be written well. What I dislike is just because of the overabundance in isekais nowadays, that there's a lot of them that feel like no effort at all. Like, it's nothing new. It doesn't even have to be anything new, it just has to be written well in what it does. It's like, okay, dude gets transported to a different world and for some reason is super strong, but he doesn't actually realize it until he gets into a fight with the Demon Lord. And also every single girl he meets is for some reason incredibly smitten with him, even though he looks like just generic guy 11. And also doesn't know how to interact with a woman because he's never had to do that in his real life before he died. But they still fall for him. And I was like, okay, power fantasy. I mean, everyone can write the little power fantasy, but you're free to write your own little power fantasy. But why do all of those get picked up? That's, I have another problem, yeah. I found another problem I have with that. It's, we get all of those translated. Like, you're telling me there's so many series with a genuinely promising premise that sound interesting that no one is willing to pick up, but we get isekai number 500 because why not? Someone's translating it. Walk around the house blindly pointing at anything to decide what the product gets reincarnated as this time. Yeah! I've racked on Reborn as a vending machine many times, and I'm still not willing to find out if it's actually any better than what I think it is, like. Because the entire premise just makes me, like, no. Like your fantasy story in MC can say modern game terms without being out of character. Yeah. Another thing that fucks me up with most isekai is how they always treat it like a game world. I mean, most of the times the fantasy worlds are just written like game worlds, but I'm like, okay, we get it. You were a gamer in your previous life, and now you think you're in Fantasy World 13 that for some reason has the same exact way of working as the game world you were really obsessed with. I'm like, okay. Oh, you have a status bar you can see in your mind's eye. Can't you just be a guy in a fantasy world? Like, imagine getting thrown into a fantasy world, but you're just a guy. You don't have any special powers. You do not have God talking to you in your head. You do not have a status screen. You just get thrown into a world. You're new there, and you walk to the nearest settlement. You are lucky enough that you can speak the language because, okay, they speak the language you also spoke. That's okay. You just stick with the language you already have spoken, but you can't read anything because they have a different way of writing. Okay, also you're the new guy in town, but you don't have a job. You haven't had a job before. You don't have a job now. You need to make people trust you. You're like, hi, sorry, I just woke up. I literally just spawned in the world. What do I do? You wouldn't mind God talking in your head if it was literally just a decide, okay, this unknown entity, whichever. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Sure, I can get behind. The game worlds are never like games you'd actually find anywhere. Exactly! Normal Portal Fantasy. There's one manga like that you love but you forgot the name. Aww. If you can remember, please tell me, because I would like to see if that's written well. That's actually I have to admit, because that's one I actually started reading. I got a few volumes in what I did read. That was also pretty much just a power fantasy. Was I killed slimes it's such a long title. I killed slimes every day for 100 years and accidentally hit max level. The reason I got into that one was because, one, the main character is not a guy, but she's a lady who died from overworking herself out of a very bad job. And she got into this new world, and God was like, hey, you can choose what you want to be. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna be a witch. And I'm not like, oh my god, I died from overworking. What the fuck? I'm gonna make this life really nice and comfy. I'm gonna try to survive for a long time. And then she just started like living on the edge of the town, like in a field somewhere, and she started killing slimes every day because that was relatively easy. Just like 1 or 2 a day to get a little bit of a workout and some money in that she could then go to town with and buy stuff she needed. And she did that for 100 years. It says so in the title, but she did that for a long time. And then she goes to the guild there at some point. I don't remember why. It's been I read like 5 volumes last year. I forgot. And the guild is like, oh, okay, we will scan you for your power level so you can actually get a proper job. Because she was like, I'm gonna save up money and then I'm gonna build a nice house for myself to live in. But I'm not gonna overwork myself because she died from overworking. I'm not gonna work for Black Company ever again. Wah! And they go scan her, and then her level is like max level 99. She's the strongest being around, kind of. She's a super strong witch now, and it's completely slice of life. It's completely slice of life. Every single thing that shows up threatening her, like even the actual fucking demon lord shows up at some point. She's also a very pretty woman. They become friends. They fight. They kind of fight. But Azusa, I think her name is. She's just too strong. Now they're friends. She keeps collecting people, kind of, but in a friendship sense. It was relaxing. It was a little too relaxing at some point, actually, because we got more and more characters, but nothing actually happened. It was just like, okay, we're hanging out. We have a new character. We are hanging out more and more. Like, that was a little too slow for me. A little too little action. So, but it also, I'm not a fan of that song. But you know, that was different. Like, she was overpowered, but it wasn't played for, oh my god, she has to save the world, but just, okay, we're hanging out. Sad thing we lose one of the few non-isekai fantasy manga next month. Oh, which one? Oh, sorry, I didn't know you said. Ooh. Oh, thank you for the follow, Colin. She keeps collecting people. Yeah, but it's like she gets 2 little slime sisters. First, Shushi now, like, they're now like her daughters. Then they get an elf apothecary who also starts living with them. They start selling more stuff. The demon lord literally becomes one of the best friends. A dragon, I don't know, a dragon girl, I think her first. Oh, I don't remember. It was a dragon girl at least. Like, she just, her found family keeps growing. But it is incredibly slow. Like, that's my problem. If it's a little too slow, I'm also like, oh my god, a little bit has to happen. Then you wish more fantasy anime did, regardless of whether or not it's isekai Monday, and use it whatever Superman. Oh yeah, Kasha Cook. Yes, that's good. Oh wait, Dungeon Meshi's ending? Really? I once again cannot save my game, but I'm gonna ring the bell and we're gonna pretend I saved. There we go. Dungeon Meshi I'm not up to date with because I think, if I see it correctly, I think I'm missing volume 9. I think I'm missing volume 9, but I have volume 10 and volume 11 here already. And I keep forgetting to get volume 9. I didn't know it was ending. Dungeon Meshi is really good. It's getting an anime next. I don't want to lie, but I think next year. Open it to finally save. Yeah. It was nice and Aito Genso no Grimga. That sounds familiar. Why does that sound familiar? Hold on. Genso Grimga. Oh yeah, Grimga Fantasy Nash. I was interested in that one. Because I thought the art style looked nice. Your progress has been saved. I like that I'm once again not reading. This is good. Every time I have a plan for a stream, even though it was just I read and I talk about stuff in the meantime. I'm only talking and not actually reading. This is good. Oh, whatever. Random Zatsu is fine too. Very true. I did have a game. Like, I had everything set up for a game actually, but then I opened the game and I kept looking at the screen and it just gave me more of a headache. So now I'm like, okay, you know what? I need something that doesn't give me more of a headache from staring at a screen, because I've already stared at the screen the entire day at work. So here we are. Here we are. Oh, Delicious in Dungeon. I have to catch up with. I love that one. Although it really was like, hey, I'm gonna make you guys wonder. I'm gonna make my main character be so interested in finding out what monsters taste like. I'm gonna make him obsessed with trying to cook some. And like, honestly, mood and understandable. And it's so, I hope the anime is gonna be good, because I need it to be good. I need more people to get into it. Oh my goodness. You never escape the power of random Zatsu, nobody does. It's fun. It's fun. I should do more random Zatsu just because I can. It's always fun to just talk about random shit. I haven't read a lot of sci-fi. I have to admit. Not that it's not my thing, but I feel like it's one of those I have to be in a specific mood for it. I haven't really found... I don't really go searching for it. I do take recommendations. Like, I wouldn't go, ooh, it's a sci-fi, I'm not gonna read it. Like, if it sounds interesting, I'm gonna read it. But I couldn't tell you off the top of my head whether I've read a single sci-fi. I don't think I have. Ultra max level Peter and main character man commenting on D&D, so I don't understand why all the wizards only using magic. Why don't know to fight us even learning magic? Do you know how useful it is when you offer us physically and healing while you can be around everyone else? Yeah! It's what I always find funny is when healers in an MMO type anime are like, oh my god, I hope we all survive this and I'm so weak, and I'm like, an actual healer main in an MMO will be like, well, if you die, you die, that's your problem. Either you are close enough to get into my healing range or you die, fuck you. Like, healers of all people are not the
Oh no, I hope everyone stays safe and I'm just a poor healer. Whoa.
I do not know a single person who is like that. I get very angry with other people when I'm the healer if they run too far. Like, fuck you. Fuck them DPS. Yeah. Yeah. You're breathtaking, so can seem to expand it with our army style. Oh. The Orc may have stories like a 7-foot tall dwarf wielding a giant two-handed sword because he can. Why wouldn't he? Wow. The tank dies, it's the healer's fault. If the healer dies, it's the tank's fault. If anyone else dies, it's their own fault. No, but like for real. It's, you gotta work together. If a tank runs too far ahead that I can't actually heal them, like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, I have your life in my hands. I'm the one that... Me. I can heal you. If you don't want to stay close enough to get that healing, tough luck. You either learn or you don't. I'm not a healer main though. I'm not a healer main because that would, like, my blood would get up there. My blood pressure would be out of this world. If y'all die, don't claim I fucked up. Y'all fucked up. Yeah. Exactly. Oh my god. You know what else is also ending? Noragami. The Noragami manga is ending. Maybe there will actually be normal phones. Haha, I don't know what you mean actually. Good point. You know what? That is a... Very good point. I could see what my blood pressure says right now. Well, we're here already. Yeah, it's pretty good. 111 to 71. That's way higher than it usually is. That's good. When every roll at some point along my series, you all the fucks to give you will obey the laws of my healing range or you'll perish. Yeah, exactly. That's very true. This is arrogant bastard that finds you amazing. Hi! Good evening! I'm good! How are you? I think swords in a fantasy setting are always fun. Like, I feel like throwing around a sword that's like triple your size is cool. Especially because doing that in real life would be very hard. Maybe not impossible, but also it's just not practical, I feel like. Meanwhile, in a fantasy, it's just like, yeah, okay, this dude will wield a sword that's like triple his size. Or cleaver, or whatever. No, prefers the swordsman. No, actually. I like dual wielding. Actually. No matter what kind of weapon it is, I think dual wielding is really cool. The song is nice. What else do I have? Because apparently I'm not going to read anyway. I'm just gonna... Wait. I'm not going to read. I'm just gonna show off more books. Because I can. This means I have to get up and walk through my... Oh, actually! Sorry, I do not have enough space here. You're reading chat for what it's worth? True. True. That is worth quite a lot, actually. Wait, the mom's read. The woman's is adorable in practicality, but it looks cool. I don't care how practical it is. It looks cool. Chat is best buds. And well, I do not have volume 1 here because I brought volume 1 home to my parents to join in my witch shrine, but behold the new German print edition of Witch, which you can definitely use as a murder weapon if you so chose. Like, also now imagine, I still don't have them here, I need to bring them at some point. The Splatoon, both Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2, the art books are this size, but like this big, like 2 of them. Like 2 of these together, that's the size of one of the Splatoon art books. So when I say you could kill someone with the Splatoon art books, I'm not joking. I'm not speaking from experience, I'm just saying it would be very, very likely event. But yeah, we are getting, oh my god, I'm so happy. We're getting a new print of the Witch comics. There's already a new print edition of the English version of Witch that's coming out like by Disney directly, because I think Disney is the one that got the rights to Witch internationally, or in the English-speaking countries at least. And the English edition I do not have here. I have them at home where I have all of my Witch books, because I already have almost all of the German prints from back then, except for the last 5, because I never got them in volume 5, which is so sad because I don't think I'm ever going to get them. But the English edition is like this big. Like, English edition, I would argue, is around the size of maybe a little bigger than 7. A little thicker as well. And then we have this German print, which is just like a straight up book. It's a genuine book that you open from the left because it's a European comic. Also, it smells. Oh my god, you still smell new because I haven't actually read them yet. And they went through all the trouble of putting in these character pages again, who everyone is, which is really nice. I'm very happy we're getting a reprint. Do not say that one more time. You do not bring the Wings versus Witch discourse in here. I will literally boot you out. No, be gone. Do not say that to my face ever again, literally. I'm gonna find out if you can kill someone with this book. It is not the same thing. Both Wings and Witch are originally Italian comic series. Yes. Yes, they came out at around the same time. Wings, while still ongoing, because Rainbow, whoever got the rights on it now, apparently cannot get enough of the money. They are not the same thing, however. People have been pitting one against the other for many, many years. As a fan of both, I think that's fucking stupid because they're not similar in the stories they tell whatsoever. You watched the show? What? Which one? Wings or Witch? Because the Witch show I don't like a lot. Pretty girls and dudes with fantasy lightsabers from the show. That's Wings, yeah. That's Wings. I think that's fucking stupid. You like just like comparing media and public? Also true. I know where the comparisons came from. So it's like this, right? Do I have an overview of the main characters in this edition as well? Okay, this is what I mean. They even wrote like these entire pages of what happened before. No, I guess they don't. They would have been in volume 1, but volume 1 I already have at home. Do I have a cover where all 5 of them are on? Yes. So, let me try to explain. So, Witch. You can't see it! Witch is because of their first names. So, it's Will, Irma, Taranee, Cornelia, and Hylin. I mean, they chose those names to make it funny because, haha, Witch. And these 5 girls, so... You need to hold on a lot. This is Will, this is Irma, this is Taranee, this is Cornelia, and this is Hylin. Will and Cornelia at the start of the series are 14, and Irma, Taranee, and Hylin are 13. Which is something I just recently remembered, like, wow, they were like baby teenagers when all of when the entire story happened. That's funny. They do grow a little over the course of the series. I think they're like 16, 17 by the end, but you know, still teenagers. And the reason I think why people would compare it to Wings is because, okay, it's also a group of 5, well, Wings ends up being 6 teenagers. And you have like one leader and one who controls fire, because with Witch, they control the elements. Something about the name made you rationally angry, so you refused to watch it. Really? Okay, that's funny. That's very funny. I've only watched the first... Okay, wait, let me go on a small tangent. I only watched the first season of the show because while we did get the second season of the show in Germany, it only ever aired on TV and they never released it on DVD. They never released it on DVD, so I never had a chance to get it. I do own the first season on DVD. Very proud I do own it. But the second season never released. Also, the show is very different from the comic. both in how it tells the story, because the show came out quite a while after the comic had been going. Me, as someone who, for one, like, read the comic first, vastly prefers it. I vastly prefer how the comic handles the storytelling, for several reasons. One of them being, in the show, every one of them can fly. They cannot all fly. The only one who can fly is Hai-Lin, because she is the one that controls wind and air. So she's the one that can fly. The others cannot fly. Also, the show made Caleb completely different, came up with a completely original character, mascot character, who's annoying as all hell, and changed up. The entire second season is completely different from how the second arc in the comic went. Though, granted, the second arc is the one I have the least knowledge on, because that's exactly the one where I'm missing one volume. That's the one where to this day I don't actually know how it finishes, because I am missing the volume it plays in. Well, it plays over the course of 4 volumes, but I'm missing the last one in that entry, which is really sad. Also, my favorite character is Will. My favorite witch character from the main girls is Will. But yeah, what it is about is they control the elements. So it's Irma is water, Tarani is fire, Cornelia is earth, and Hai-Lin is air. And Will is the power that brings them all together, like pure energy. And this is the heart of Kandraka, because Kandraka is like this castle in the air where a lot of very powerful, not magicians, that's the wrong word. Basically, honestly, they're all dead people by this point. Just very powerful people are like that hold the balance of the universe. La puta! No, they hold the power of the universe up there in Kandraka. And Kandraka assigns 5 girls to be guardians of the galaxy. That's not, no, that's so wrong. No, it's not Guardians of the Galaxy, that's another movie. But Guardians of the world. And that world not being limited to Earth, but like every world in existence. Because, like we find out, there's not just Earth in this universe, but there's very many worlds that were once connected by a big net where you could go using portals from one world to another. But they had to close those because the universe contains more than one planet. Stop! I am trying, okay? I only ever read these in German. Do you know how hard it is for me to try and explain all of these terms in English when I do not know what they used in the English edition? They had to close this giant net of how every single planet and whatever, every world was connected. Because one world, we had this prince who was like, haha, I'm gonna be evil. I'm gonna try and take over every single world. Hee hee hee. And they were like, oh no, you don't do that. We're gonna close you off. And thus they had to close off everyone because they couldn't just close off this one world, but they had to close, just cut everywhere. And the very first arc of the story is about, like, it starts off with Will. Will moves with her mom, with a single mom, by the way. She has a single mom. Her name is Susan. She's a very lovely character. The older I get, the more I can appreciate Susan, I think. Because they have quite a few differences. Obviously, Will is a teenage daughter, and Susan is a single mom who's very successful in her work, by the way. I will fucking kill you. But she has so much work to do, and they moved to Heatherfield. That's what it's called. Heatherfield is where they moved to. Will is not very fond of moving because she did have friends at the old place, right? And it's like, oh my god, moving, having to leave everyone behind, new school, new people. Ugh. But her mom had to move because of work. And Kanrika has already chosen the 5 girls who would become the new guardians, which is those 5, but they don't know. Heatherfield is such a reasonable town name. Yeah, extremely much so. It's like, yeah, that is a place that could exist. And so I wish I had volume 1 here. I could literally just show you a few parts of it, but I don't. So Will moves there, and it's going to be like her first day at school immediately after moving. And she's late for school immediately, obviously. She ends up meeting Tarane in the halls. And Tarane is like, oh, I'm also new. I just moved here like a week ago. Which is true. Tarane also moved here just a week ago. Together with her family, her mom, dad, and big brother.
Thank you for the pet. Oh, pass it.
They moved there. Imagine being in late for work at ages 13 and 14. Nah! I to this day cannot tell you if I'm actually pronouncing the name correctly at all. Because I think that's what I've always said it as. I think in the show they also say Tarane because it has 2 E's. Like it's written Taranee. Nowadays I feel like maybe it's actually Tarani. I think they say that in the English dub of the show, but I couldn't tell you. In my head it's always been Tarane. So like, whatever. But she's also new. Blah blah blah. She gets introduced. Because she runs into the principal. Principal's like, oh, late for your first day, huh? Good start, Miss Vandam. That's her last name. Will Vandam. That's her name. Full name. Taranee's last name is Cook. Cornelia's last name is Hale. Hi, Lynn is her full name. And Irma. I don't remember Irma's last name. Fuck. Damn it. Fake fan. Yeah, her last name is Cook. Her last name is Cook. Anyway, so she ends up in the same class as Cornelia, and also I can show her. No, wait, wrong. Wait, volume 2. Also the same class as Elion. Tarani Cook would make the hell of a legendary name now. Here, Elion. Elion is also 14. So Cornelia, Elion, and Will end up in the same class. They do get along well, pretty well immediately. We have a school bully who's a little bit of a mess. He doesn't. Well, he's a school bully, but he's also just a loser. Like, he's not one of the big, strong bullies, but he's just a guy who's covered in acne, who tries to get on the nerves of other people. Everyone's just fed up with him. He's that kind of bully. And first day of school, he's like, haha, I'm gonna throw everyone's bicycles over. And Will's bicycles in there, Taranee's bicycles in there. And Cornelia comes by and is like, oh, is my bicycle also in that? And then Uriah is the bully's name. Uriah. He's like, oh, okay, we better leave. Because Cornelia is very tall. Cornelia, at least she's always shown to be very tall. I don't actually know if she is, but I guess for a 14-year-old, she was always shown to be this very tall character. And she doesn't really take anyone's shit in that sense, so let's go. And shortly after, it's around Halloween. It starts around Halloween. The series starts around Halloween, so they have a Halloween party at school. And then so everyone's like, hey, let's meet up at the Halloween party, blah blah blah, let's all go there together. And what we as the reader see is we see a very few glimpses where every single one of the characters, of the main characters, like uses a little bit of magic, where they're like, oh, this is so weird, this I'm the only one who can do that. I cannot tell anyone about this because Irma is like, Irma accidentally changes all of the colors of her clothes to blue. Because she was like, oh my god, I do not know what to wear to the party. I don't even have a single blue dress. And then all of her clothes turn blue. So now she has a blue dress for the party. And Terane, with her fire thingy, she can touch fire. It doesn't actually burn. Will kind of starts talking to her electronics. Like every single electronic thing they have at home starts talking to her. She talks like the printer can talk. The TV can talk even while it's off. The computer will talk. Her phone talks to her like, oh, you have one, Miss Bell. And you have to remember that originally these books or the comics came out quite a while ago. That was before smartphones. Definitely. It doesn't say here when they originally came out, does it? Your phone talks to you. Yeah, what I'm saying, remember when this came out, okay? Does it say here but these originally came out? No, but it does mention every single person who's drawn parts of it. Like literally wow. Who colored it? Damn, that's pretty extensive. It doesn't actually say when it originally came out though. That's a little sad. Cool.
Thank you for the pack.
Each and every one of them has like this little thing going where they're like, oh, no one else can have that and I'm so special. It's your fault you're late. Aha. Okay. Yeah, you better run before you attempt to say Winks and Witch is the same. Yeah. Go. Shh. And the first arc is about them discovering the magic. Hylin's grandma is actually dying. I know this feels like it's pretty out there, but Hylin's grandma is dying. Hylin's very close to her grandma. But before she's dying, she like summons all of the girls because so Cornelia, Irma, and Hylin were already friends before Elian as well. I keep forgetting about Elian, my bad. And then Terane, because she's in the same class as Irma and Hylin, also like gets pulled into the group, and then Will as well. They grow really close. And then Hylin's grandma like tells them. She's like, oh, look at you're getting shooted. Oh, sorry. Have fun exercising. She reveals to them, oh, you are going to be the new guardians. And these are your powers. And they don't really believe her immediately, but then she dies. She does die, and they end up getting those powers. And they're like, wow, okay. Ooh, suddenly we have magic powers. And we can transform. And because the outfits, these outfits here, these are the transformed outfits, actually. Which I think are really good to this day. It's a really, like, it's a cohesive... I'm gonna have to move the baby, I'm sorry. It's a very cohesive design. Because it's similar enough, like they all have the same kind of leggings going on. Like these here, and the boots are very, almost the same. Like Cornelia has longer boots, Terani has these short ones. But they have the same kind of style. Like Hylin's is a very airy skirt, then Emma has this short thingy here. Terani has just like super short shorts, and Cornelia has this with a slit on the side skirt. And the fun part is, because they were like, how are we gonna change this up? You see how Cornelia, Emma, and Hylin have the green top, and then Terani and Will have the purple top, so it's switched around.
You go over there now. Okay, enjoy.
I don't know, it was good character design. You can see how they're a group. You can see the unity there. You will imposter check. And it works. Spoiler alert, oh wow, that's a very weak posture check. They do end up getting even stronger powers very much later into the series, where the outfit changes a bit. But overall, it's still very much the same thing, and I still think it holds up to this day. Actually, do I have a scene where you can see all of them transformed by any chance? No, but I have the scene where Hylian crushes on a guy. Nope. No. I guess not. Nah. Whatever. Whatever. It's good. I'm a big fan. I could talk about this series for forever. I had the comics like when they came out as like monthly magazine and everything, but I think my mother threw them away at some point, which is very sad because there is no way to recover something like that. So I'm triple and double happy that they're bringing these completely new editions that are going to cost me like half a lung, because one of these costs 30 fucking euros, which is a lot of money. They're nice. They're a little hard to read, I will admit. It is not like it's nice to read. It's nice to read because you have a lot on one page, but also, oh my god, that's one very big book. Also, they're apparently rebooting Witch. Not the people who originally worked on it, but Disney has the rights on it. And I think the reboot is once again, like, it's Italian made. It's basically a fan project that got made official as far as I'm aware. That is going to come out sometime soon-ish, where they're rebooting it with like a slightly different art style, and also some character designs get changed, and I am unsure what to think of it. It doesn't look bad. Obviously it will look different. It's not the same people working on it. It's a cute art style, very, very cute faces. Some design changes make no sense to me though, because Will's mom originally has long blue, like, I think it's a stylistic black hair actually, but like blue black hair. And in the reboot, she's apparently blonde now, and I'm like, blonde? Of all things. We know that Will's red hair comes from her actual birth father, so that's not the problem, but like, blonde! $30 is half a lung. You have sold hundreds of your lungs for video games. Can you share some of those? I would also sell a few lungs so I can buy more books. Yeah. I don't know. I have to look up when the next volume is gonna come out. Also, how many there are going to be. I cannot tell. My lighting situation is very... No, these are different colors. Like, I mean, obviously the pink is a different color, but these two are different colors. Good thing my very high quality webcam can show me that these are different colors. When the lighting situation in here can, like, with my own eyes, I'm like, But yeah, the longer I look at it, the more it's a different color. Hi, welcome back. I forgot to take this sticker off. We're still talking about Witch. Yeah, these are nice. I don't know, these were my childhood. And also well into my, like, well over my childhood, because I still read them when I was a teenager. Oh, Jesus Christ. When I was a teenager. They're nice. They're nice. I could do this the entire day. I do not know where to put them. Maybe next time when I'm home, I'll remember. I will take a picture of like the part of the bookshelf that is reserved for everything a witch that I own, which is quite a lot. Yeah, good book. Good comics. Good comics. If anyone ever wants like a blast through the past and wants to get into something, and if they can get over their dislike of the name Irma. Oh hey, look at that! Here's one. Here's one where you can see pretty much all of them transformed in one panel. Actually. Wait, how do I hold this so it's better? Like this, maybe. But yeah, it's, I don't know. Listen, I like it. Big fan. Big fan. Irma. I do not know what your problem is. I think it's a nice name. It's a nice enough name. I like her. Her German voice was really fun in the show. As much as I don't dislike the show, I just think it's way different from the comics. So everyone who's like, oh, I prefer the show, I'm like, oh, okay, did you like go past like the first 2 chapters of the comic, or? But maybe that's just me, my pettiness talking. Probably. Yes. What else do I have? Many things. How's the music, by the way? You know, it's we've been here for almost 2 hours and I never even asked if the music is like an okay-ish volume or not. Yeah. Hold on. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna read at least one of the books that I said I would read. I'm gonna put the baby back on screen. If I read it like this, it's not actually... You guys can actually see it, so no one can tell me that I'm showing off stuff that I am not allowed to show off. I need everyone to read Sasaki Tomiyano though. So cute. I still have to watch the anime. I've said that months ago. I said that many months ago. Ever since it aired, basically, I was like, oh, I should... What is that called? I should watch the anime and I still haven't gotten around to it. I feel like... Well, I say this as someone who's read both of the manga. I've only watched one of the animes, but if you like Horimiya and you like BL, I think you would enjoy Sasaki Tomiyano. Like, it gives me the same vibes. It has comedy, it has very comfy characters. The love story is believable. Because when I originally read Sasaki Tomiyano, I caught up with all of the available chapters in one night. Like before the official German release came out. Good evening! Hi! I had a very, very long night where I read it on my phone. I did not look at the clock once. And suddenly it was like 4 in the morning and I had caught up with Sasaki Tomiyano. And I was like, oh my god, is this bait? Is this bait or not? And I was so invested in it, and then I actually finally kissed for the first time. I was like, yes! Good! That was worth it. That was worth staying up until 4 a.m. for. I don't know. It has a very special place in my heart. Wait, actually, special place in my heart. Speaking of Sasaki Tomiyano, that's all the ones I have. Oh, no? Yes, no? I'm unsure. I have too many books. No, it's spoiling that they do in fact kiss. Yeah. They do in fact kiss. It takes them a very long time, but they do in fact kiss. Sorry for that spoiler. But I was unsure whether it was like a bait series or not, because with the beginning, Miyano is very, very clear that he's not actually romantically interested in guys. He likes reading BL, but he's not actually gay himself. He had a crush on a girl before, and I was like, I'm getting invested, but if it's only going to be an eternal bait series, then I'm gonna have to get out of it sooner than later. It is not a bait series, it does very much evolve. But yeah, the cover. The covers are very nice. So it's volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, 4, volume 5, and you know, volume 6. And also there's a spin-off manga series for a classmate of Sasaki and his roommate, because they have dorm rooms. He lives in a dorm. That's volume 1. And volume 2. Volume 3 is out, but I don't have it yet. Funny thing though, these I have in English because we don't have the spin-off announced in German yet. So switching from reading this one in German to reading about characters that also show up in the main series often, you know, to English, I'm like, huh. Also the sizing is slightly different. Like the German edition is smaller, so it's always a bit of a mess. It's like, who are you people? And then there's also, wait, hold on, I'm missing something though. There's a spin-off novel. In fact, the novel was first. The novel for the spin-off series for Hirano and Kagiura was first. Actually, also there's a novel about everyone in the first year of school, because Sasaki is already a third year and Miyano is in his second year. So, sorry about that. I accidentally slapped my microphone. Then there's an extra novel where they were all first years, so like extra stories of what happened before they met each other. I thought I owned that one already actually, but maybe not, because I can't see it right now. Maybe I wanted to order it, but I don't have it yet. But yeah, I haven't read the extra novel for Hirano and Kagiura yet. After at some point. I'm just glad they're even bringing it out at all. Because lots of times, like a manga spin-off, you have a reasonable chance of getting, like if the main series gets a translation, you have a reasonable chance of getting a spin-off series. The chance to get a spin-off light novel of a manga translated. Ugh. Harsh. If I had more money, I would also buy the manga in English though, I will admit. But I don't. I do not! Why are we getting screamed at in this song? I need something that doesn't actually scream at me right now. It is very much a gacha. The playlist didn't lie, it's very much a gacha of what kind of songs you're getting. Sasaki to Miyano is very sweet, very cute. I like them very much. You can barely read the fifth one because the yellow is very bright. It was 6. 6 is a turquoise kind of color. Sweet. I do not know how many volumes we have right now. Like in Japan. We're not too far behind though, I feel. Wait. This one is chapter 33. Chapter 33. So much for not very far behind. Wrong, but Sasaki. I can't type. How many? How many chapters do we have right now?
Welcome back! Hi!
Oh yeah, no, the newest volume that's out in Japan is volume 8, so we're really not very far behind at all. Interesting. Seeing the art for volume 1 and the art for volume 8 next to each other gives me whiplash though. It's always nice to actually, like when you're reading it, you don't really see it as much, like when you just always without taking bigger breaks. But then you look at like years after, you go from volume 1 to a volume way later and you're like, wow, that art style has actually evolved. That's kind of surprising. But it's not surprising that that your art style would evolve, but like you don't realize while it's happening. You only really realize once it's actually. I do not know how to end that sentence. It's the same thing when I look at old pictures of my cats. Well, I'm like, when they were babies, when they were this small, I'm like, oh my god. But while they were growing, I didn't really realize, right? Like, especially nowadays, it's like, okay, well, they're turning 12 now. They're turning 12 this year, so they've looked the way they have looked for quite a few years now. I'm just like, when I look back at pictures when they were small, I'm like, oh my god, you were this tiny. So, like this small. They were never, in fact, this small, but that's what it feels like. You just replace yours because you use it so much the keys actually stop working. Damn! I can never remember what this one is called, but I know that it's down there somewhere. Yeah. It's a razor something. Honestly, I couldn't figure out how to. There's 5 buttons on this that you could put like some kind of combinations on there, whatever. But I could never figure out how to use them, so they don't get any use whatsoever. I think it's a Razor Black Widow, actually. I think that's what it's called. It's a good keyboard. It's also very loud. To my mind, at least, it's very loud. Or like to everyone who's ever told me, like, wow, your keyboard is really loud, so I believe it. Why are Sasaki's feet so big? So I just realized, but why are his feet so big? Why are they so big? Also, what kind of shoe is that? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, my guy. I'm gonna make this look nice. Okay. Blame the fact that proportions are difficult. That's true. Proportions are, in fact, extremely difficult. You're very right about that. What's volume 6 about? Maybe there's a GNU in this one. It is an Egmont translation. Maybe there's a GNU in it. Let's see. It would be fun. There's one problem with me having read this in English already. It's like every time I sit down, I'm like, wow, this seems familiar. I was like, of course it's gonna seem familiar. I already read the chapters before, just in a different language. What's funny about Sasaki to Mieno is there's one sentence on the side. Always. Like for every single... It's a 4-panel manga, basically. Everything gets told in these 4 panels. There's a few outliers sometimes. But mostly everything is told in 4 panels, and then there's always one sentence on the side. So every single time I read it, I have to like do this just to read this sentence on the side. I'm like, okay. There's always some kind of comment on what's happening in the 4 panels. That's nice. It has a good translation. Well, going from a fan translation of English to the official English translation to what the German translation is, I at least feel like it's very much there. I obviously haven't read the Japanese original, so I do not know how accurate it is, but I would argue it's probably pretty accurate. I imagine it's probably pretty accurate. This one is around Christmas. Volume 6 is around Christmas already. Oh yeah, here's an outlier. This one, well, I mean, it still has 4 panels, but it starts off with that, and then it's split in half like this. And well, every other time it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I do not know how to actually point to the right panel while I'm counting, but that's okay. I feel like Sasaki to Mieno is set in modern times. Like, it is very much modern times, but Sasaki himself still uses no, I guess it's an MP3 player. Maybe? I'm unsure. He still very much actively listens to CDs. Like, he has a big selection of CDs because he also tends to lend some to friends, whatever. Lots of times when because they both come to school by train. When they sit in the train, they will listen to the same thing because Sasaki is like, oh hey, I got some new songs. You wanna listen to them? Now I'm confused when this is supposed to be, because it's not like completely at the same time. Obviously, because it's been running for quite a few years. I think that's a typo. Hold on. No, it's not a typo. Have I misread this one character's name for 5 volumes now? Wait, I can just look it up in another one. If so, I am very sorry. Wait, hold on. Have I misread this one character's name the entire time? He's not in volume 1, I cannot look it up in volume 1. I'm gonna scream. I have. In my mind, this man's name has always been Hanazawa, but it's actually only Hanzawa. Wow. Good. Okay, today I realized. Jesus Christ. Oh, Noah, you really must be reading those books very closely, huh? Oi, oi, oi. Wait. Miano wants to reach 170 in his life. Every single volume there's a little overview of all of the characters. It's not actually, like, it doesn't actually say what their height is every single time. Like for Miano, it does actually say, on the last page it does say that he's 169 right now. And Sasaki is 185. But for 2 other characters it's just like has grown, but not from like where to where, it's just has grown. The other one says absolutely not small. And then this last character, it just says like what you would say to a flower that's blooming, like how you would say that a flower is growing. I'm like, okay, that doesn't tell me anything about how tall this character is. I'm assuming he's over 185, though. He's definitely taller than Sasaki is. And he's on the basketball team. Sasaki's not on the basketball team. He's 185, so the guy on the basketball team is also around that side. How the hell? This random 16-year-old is 185. Okay.
You want a Pikachu? Okay. You will get your Pikachu.
Well, I try to get over the heights of anime characters.
Pikachu! Pika Pika! Pikachu! Aww.
have a terrible confession to make. And please focus. Please, camera. I believe in you and your autofocus. Doesn't get much better than this, I guess. When I first started collecting manga many years ago, because they're in black and white, right? I would start coloring these pages. My very first manga of all time that I still own to this day is Mistress Fortune by Arina Tanemura. And I can never ever, like, even if I wanted to give that away, I could never, because half the book is filled with me trying very hard to color in the pages with Copic markers. Because I desperately wanted Copic markers at that age because I was trying to draw. And I was like, oh, Copic markers are good when you draw comic stuff, yeah! Copic markers also need special paper, because otherwise they bleed through everything. So trying to color in a manga with Copic markers makes the manga not look good by the end. Sorry, Marina, I don't feel like listening to that right now. Is that the manga you think it is? Wait, what? What I'm reading right now? Or Mistress Fortune by Arina Tanemura? Yeah! This is volume 6. And these are volume 1 to 5. And also the Hirano and Kagiura spin-off manga. And the Hirano and Kagiura spin-off novel. You love the one? The anime or also the manga? Yeah! I haven't seen the anime yet. The manga, you didn't watch the anime. Ah, I see. Yeah. German release is a little behind, I think. Is volume 6 the one where they actually get together? I don't remember. Wait, actually, hold on. Because the thing is... Let me see. Book is probably going to lock me out because I haven't used it in quite a while. I think I've actually had some points on Bookwalker run out because if I don't have the money, I can't spend it, even if I get a discount. Oh, no, never mind, it's good. Oh yeah! Yeah, volume 6 was the last one that I had on Bookwalker, the official English translation as well. That's funny. That's a key. Yeah, the Sasaki and Miyo no manga came out, or at least I bought volume 1. That's probably not gonna show up, is it? Oh no, it does. I bought volume 1 of Sasaki and Miyo no, the manga on Bookwalker in English in 2021. It's not focusing, but this says 2021. And up to volume 6 I had, so that's fun, finally. So I was always ahead, right? Volume 6 I bought in English in September 2022. I think that's also when it came out. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? Is Volume 7 already out in English? It is not out in English, so we're not... English is not even further ahead than us anymore.
And thank you for the idle time and the pet.
I'm running out of space where to put stuff. Have I read Kono Oto Tomo? Doesn't ring a bell. Let me look it up. Kono Oto Tomo. I have not. Nope. Never heard of that. Looks nice though. The art style looks extremely familiar. Why? Oh, no, that's not gonna help me. Very lovely manga and Dorothy motion so nicely. I'm looking at like Google Images. The art style looks extremely familiar. Hold on. Let me see. I want to see if maybe I've read something else by the artist. Oh yeah, I've seen. I have definitely seen that cover before. As an anime. Two seasons actually. Oh. I would like to see here. Has this person drawn anything else that I know? Absolutely not. No, never mind. Guess it just looks familiar. Just because. Interesting. Have you read Blue Period? Actually, I feel like I've asked you this before, but have you read Blue Period? It's still on your list! It's still on your list! You have to read it! I also have to catch up with it, because I'm not up to date. I accidentally skipped volume 7. I bought volume 8. I haven't gotten around to buying volume 7, so I can't continue reading it. And we're already in volume 11 in German. I'm like, oh, please, wait. Wait for me. Wait for me, I want to read it. Ow. Right. No, I'm cracking my fingers just because it is actually making a nice sound. But when I had a posture check, there was no sound coming out. I see how it is. Blue Period is so good. I love it. I love it a lot. Oh! Let's see how long it's gonna take me to get through this fucking volume if I keep interrupting myself. Oh yeah, I think volume 6 is the one where they actually get together. Yeah. Big Bird. These people have been hanging out for almost a year, and they never even exchanged phone numbers. So now it's like, damn, I can't even reach you when I'm trying to because I don't have your phone number or email address or anything. I'm like, this, it's not they still have flip phones. Granted, yes, the Japanese flip phones, they were more advanced than our flip phones, but still flip phones. What year is this? Oh yeah, volume 6 is the one where he actually confesses. Oh, Spoiler alert, volume 6 is the one where they finally fucking kiss for the first time. Yeah! She was so cute. Yeah! Good evening! It's not that common to exchange numbers, rather like, yeah, but they don't even have that. I was like, I'm sorry, if I hang out with someone at school and outside of school for over a year, wouldn't you count that as friends? There's no GNU in this one. I wish I could show you a GNU. They're so cute. And they're finally exchanging numbers. They exchange numbers to write emails. They write mails to each other. This is a time where people still write mails. This is before Line and where you still write emails. They're so cute. I will eat them. We are reading Sasaki and Mie. I will never learn how to hold it correctly first time around. We're reading volume 6 of Sasaki to Mie now. Because I realized that I'm very bad at trying to read without, like, while talking and reading, I'm too slow in both reading and talking. Because I cannot do both. My brain cannot possibly read and talk at the same time. But on the other hand, it can also not be completely quiet. What kind of song? Please. I was about to say I need something calm, but the next song is not calm either. No book narration channel one. I would, except for the fact that if I do it for English books, I'm probably going to pronounce as many words wrong as I usually would do. And two, I have to make sure it would be books that are like publicly available. Because otherwise, I think it would count as a sharing copyrighted material. Which is not allowed. I could read fanfiction. But then I would still very much need the permission of whoever has written the fanfiction. You don't just go online and read out something someone else has written about their knowledge. Oh, that song! I was like, why does it sound familiar? I know this song. Miyano thinks if you go to sleep early, you grow more. Which, I get it. He's trying to grow that 1 centimeter, but like, going to sleep early is not gonna make you grow. I know, yeah, speaking of permissions, there's something I very much could tackle. I should tackle sometime soon.
You must go now. Have luck, boss. Okay.
You cannot see it, but imagine I'm saluting you. Wait, I'll salute the baby. Okay, the baby is going to salute you. Good luck. Ooh. I guess we hit the Vocaloid part of the gachas. Right, I always forget his name, but one of the side characters, one of the friends, is in the table tennis club, and he kind of drops at a onsen place where they also have a table tennis table. Is it called a table tennis table? That sounds stupid as all hell. So they sometimes let him practice there. In exchange, he like helps out with cleaning, but he doesn't actually like get paid in money. He just gets sweets all the time from the old people there, which is really sweet. It's like, okay, you can practice your stuff, because he's also in a table tennis club at school, and he just gets a bunch of sweets. I wish we had those bathhouses here. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of bathing, not gonna lie. I like showering more, but the idea is nice. The idea is really nice. It's just like big tub, nice hot water. Oh, they're so cute. So like, ah, you're my boyfriend now. Yes, I am. And they're both blushing. That's so cute. Okay. Would you look at that? It's been months, but I finally read one volume of a manga again. I'm very proud of myself. Oh my god. Ugh. Thank you for the pat. Nice. That's nice. Okay. Actually, though, you know what I'm going. I feel like I already sent you over to Camille pretty recently, but Camille just debuted a new model and is currently in the middle of a lagathon because the new model has lags and everything, and is playing Persona 5 Royale, whatever. And me personally, as you all are aware, I'm a big fan of P5, so whatever. I think I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna send you over to Camille. I hope listening to me ramble on about books was enjoyable.
Have a good one, you too.
I do not know when next stream is gonna be. I'm hoping tomorrow, and also hoping tomorrow is gonna be a normal game day. But yeah. I'm trying to reconcile the fact that I don't necessarily feel like games all the time, like with my brain, like, okay, I can stream literally anything else that I want, right? It's my stream, I can do what I want, but it's not working out as much as I'm hoping it would. But here we are. We did a little bit of something, and then I like that. I hope you guys like that as well. Me rambling on about things. You can indeed stream whatever you want, as long as it's TOS friendly, yeah. 1% actually reading, 49% stats, 50% new rambling about which. Oh, listen. Honestly, if I prepared it a little more, I could very much do a 99% rambling about which stream at some point. Well, we'll see about that. I was debating when I wanted to paint my nails sometime earlier, but maybe I'll do that one day. Painting my nails on stream. We'll see. Anyway, this song is over, so that is very good for me to start off my own song. That's somewhere in the depths of my computer. I'm not receiving it if you complete off before. I like many things. And some things I'm a little more passionate about than others. But yeah, that is going to be it for tonight. I hope I can stream tomorrow, because if I can, it's going to be either the game I originally wanted to play earlier, because it's a pretty short game, or Trouble Comes Twice, because I still want to very much finish that game. I don't know, I have a very hard time recently to like kind of make everything work out, also with being motivated to play video games, so we'll see how that goes.
Thank you for an stream. No, thank you for coming.
I hope you had fun as well. I already know who I'm going to raid, because my love for Persona 5 is stronger. Sorry. So let's wish Camille a happy new model debut. I don't know, the debut was yesterday. Yesterday. Today is day 2, I think, if I read that correctly.
Thank you for stream. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming by tonight. I hope you all have a nice evening. I'll see you all hopefully very soon. Have a good night. And bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I'm still waving my hands.
Bye-bye.